I've lost count of the times I've been asked the question. I'd love a Lotus Elan, but I have these two pesky little children that I need to take with me from A to B. Can you help? And the answer is yes. And for that, we need to delve into the Lotus back catalogues. Hello and welcome to the Lotus Elan Plus 2. You join me today on what is arguably the windiest day on record, in my opinion, to have a look at this absolute gem from the Lotus archives, the 1971 Lotus Elan Plus 2 S130. More on that last bit later. Today, we're going to have a look inside and out, get it out on the road, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what makes this car interesting and special and what I think. So let's crack on before the camera blows over. In the 1960s, Lotus founder Colin Chapman's motto of simplify and add lightness was working well. His small two-seater sports car, the Elan, was selling in great numbers to trendy, cool young people. However, he wanted to explore a new market. What about those trendy, cool young people that also have children? For that, he utilised that very Elan, widened the track, lengthened the body, but still kept that same steel backbone chassis and fiberglass body to create this, the Elan Plus 2. The recipe remained simple. Throaty, fun, lightweight four-cylinder engine at the front, a good gearbox, a quality chassis, but just in a slightly bigger and a little bit more practical package. It was a well-executed plan, almost engineered to perfection, one might argue. The Elan Plus 2 was manufactured from 1967 right the way through until 1975, a full 2 years after the original Elan stopped production. The Elan was a success for quite a few reasons. It was comfortable, practical, and great fun to drive, but there was another key feature. It was cheap. Starting at £1,223 in the late 1960s, it was a damn sight cheaper than an equivalent E-Type, and just as much fun in my opinion. It was in 1968 where Chapman decided to turn things up a notch yet again and introduce the Plus 2S. This was effectively a more plush, luxurious version of the already comfortable and quite suave Plus 2. It included factory-fitted fog lights and improved creature comforts on the inside. By the time the 1970s rolled in, another revision was to be introduced to the Lotus brochure, the Elan Plus 2 S130, and that is exactly what the car behind me is. Designated by its characteristic silver roof panel, the S130 utilised Lotus's legendary big valve technology to increase horsepower and improve overall performance. But more on that in a little bit. Inside was actually very impressive. It doesn't feel like a Lotus in here, and that's a good thing. There is actually a very high level of fit and finish. There's good quality materials used, and as you can see from this vast instrument cluster, there's quite a lot of tech in here too, for the time of course. It really is a very well laid out cabin, and there is plenty in the way of room. Even for me, an adult with legs, I could sit quite comfortably back here. I've got room for my legs and I've got room for my head. This is an ideal tourer, and I really can see why you'd buy this over other market competitors at the time. It was under here where the S130 really set itself apart, and that was all thanks to this big valve engine. It was the same 1558cc 1.6 litre four-cylinder, but it utilised, as you might expect, bigger valves and upgraded internals to bring power up to around 126 brake horsepower in some cases. Earlier S130s were fitted with a 4-speed manual gearbox and are designated as S130/4s, whereas later post-1972 cars were S130-5s, as you can guess, because they had a 5-speed manual box. The 5-speed cars were capable, as I said, of around 126 brake horsepower, whilst the 4-speeds were tuned to around 118 brake horsepower. We've got the Elan Plus 2 S130 out on the road, and it's such a rewarding little thing when it gets going. This obviously benefits from the big valve engine, so it's pushing 120 brake horsepower in a car that doesn't weigh a lot, despite the fact it's a 4-seater. When you put your foot down, it gets up and goes, because it's not got any real substantial car to get moving. Now this is an S130/4, meaning it's got the 4-speed manual gearbox of the earlier cars. Now, It's a bit of a debate as to whether this is better than the later 5-speed cars or not. And yes, at top end, I would like a 5th gear just to make the car feel a little bit more relaxed. But I, like quite a lot of people, think this 4-speed manual box suits the car down to a T. It really is, in essence, the perfect box for an engine like this. Road holding, that's where this car, being a Lotus, really does exceed. Despite the fact that it's a 4-seater family sports car, it grips to the road like it's on rails. You can put it into a corner and be very, very confident you're going to come out the other side smiling and facing the right direction. I'm really surprised by how quiet it is in the cabin. I expected a small fiberglass Lotus to be rattling and creaking and really just shaking me about all over the place. But in all honesty, it's actually very, very well contained as a car. It's quiet, it's subtle, and when you're not throwing it around, so to speak, it's very subdued. That being said, should you want to, it can be quite a fun little animal. Oh, what a wonderful little thing. I've never really spent any time with an Elan Plus 2, and I feel like I've really been missing out. My critiques are few and far between, the main one being the brakes. They do work, and when you get down there, they are quite sharp. In my opinion, they feel a little bit soft and underpowered for the job they have to do. I've driven the Europa and Europa Special of this era, and in my opinion, this is a far better and more enjoyable car. It's just more comfortable, and I think that really does play into it. With the Europa, you're laying on the floor and you're in a really awkward driving position, whereas this, I'm sat like a normal person. I could really sort of do a longer distance in this and my back would thank me for it. Oh, Colin Chapman, you are a legend. So, the Lotus Elan Plus 2 S130-4, what do I think? Well, I'm going to generalise and talk about the Elan Plus 2 model as a whole. But either way, I love this thing. It really has exceeded my expectations. I used to see these at shows and on the road, and they didn't really do anything for me. And to be honest, the styling isn't my favourite. It's a little bit odd in terms of proportions for me. But it is a very, very good car. It drives absolutely brilliantly. And I think even with this, the 4-speed box, it's very well suited to touring and then obviously more fun B-road and country drives. It's a practical car. I don't know if I'd want to use one daily. It is a Lotus and they can be plagued with electrical problems, hence the lots of trouble, usually serious motto. However, I haven't had any trouble with this particular car, and if you check the forums, it seems like these engines are generally reliable. Obviously, if you look after them. I think they present as very good value for money at the moment and a really cool left field classic tourer. Yes, you could have a Jaguar E-Type or a Mercedes SL, but if you want to get some more admiring looks and sort of the acknowledgement, that's a cool guy, I'd go for one of these. The Elan Plus 2, it gets my approval. Thank you very much for watching the video review of this absolutely stunning Lotus Elan Plus 2 S130-4. I do hope you've enjoyed. If you like this sort of thing, please check out our other video reviews. And remember, if you have a classic car to sell, please get in touch with us at classiccarbuyer.co.uk. We'd love to hear from you. Bye-bye.